good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Truth Conductor Show. Um, been a minute. You know, sometimes you need to step back from what you're doing. And because I've not been getting the traction that would put me on the path to success, I decided to kind of just chill with social media until I can get some tangible results in my hands that I can show you, hey, this is how I did it. So until then, man, I'm just chilling, you know? And I don't know how this gonna work out. Be honest, I don't know. Only thing I can do is just keep believing and get out here and keep still trying every day. That's all I can do. And if the end results don't come, then they don't come. But it won't be because I didn't try. Okay? What's going on, Edward? How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining me. So, as you know, this is one thing that I will continue, Saturday in Proverbs. I will continue that. But as far as daily broadcasting, until I can manifest some of these ideas that I got in my head, I'm gonna shut up, sit down and shut up. That's all I can do is just sit down and shut up, because this is how you get discouraged. This is how you develop anxiety, self-doubt, you know? And I'm trying to stay away from those. And it's hard enough, man, to sit back and watch all these killings and this gun violence and everything, and knowing you have the answer and people are afraid to make you successful so that you can talk about this. I can't talk about it broke because people won't pay me no mind. But if I become successful, they're going to listen. It's just that simple. And man, I've been talking about this 30 years. This ain't something new to me. Okay? I was just last night, I know this article came up in my mind, and I went back and looked at it. And one of the things that I noticed, this was back in 1994 when I ran for mayor. And I was talking about the Washington Post. They would do an article on. They would do an article on all of the potential candidates, whether you feel like you got a chance or not. They still did an article, and this is back in '94. Listen to this. Folden said he has secured almost 4,000 signatures of D.C. registered voters comfortably in excess of the 2,500 signatures necessary to put him on the ballot for the Democratic primary. That's when I was a Democrat, running against Marion Barry. Whites have been signing his petition in far greater numbers than blacks, he said. He faults African Americans for not supporting their own, my own people, who are held hostage by young black men in their own neighborhoods, he complained, aren't willing to give a positive role model and opportunity. This was back in 94. And look, in 2023, we're still held hostages by a young black man. Almost 30 years later, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. But, you know, those are the things that people have to and it's discouraging. It really is. It's discouraging. But anyway, so Proverbs is the one book in the Bible that has a chapter for every day of the month. Okay, there are 31 days in a month. Well, when the months that do have 31 days, there are 31 chapters in Proverbs. And because the day is the 9th, we'll start at the 9th chapter. Man, I tell you, I'm trying to get into. I wanna manifest the 8th chapter of Proverbs in my life, and that's exalting wisdom and understanding, with it bringing you wealth. Okay, when you exalt wisdom and understanding, there are some things that come with that. So anyway, let's pray and get in the Word. Father, thank you for another day to gather around your Word. Speak through my mind, Father. Speak through my heart and speak through my lips to precisely articulate your Word so that it may pierce the hearing of your children, that we will grow to live the righteous lifestyle that you have ordained for us to live. In Jesus' name, amen. Chapter 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has also furnished her table. Verse 3. She has sent out her maidens. She cries out from the highest places of the city. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, come, eat of my bread, drink of my wine I have mixed. Verse 6, forsake foolishness and live, and go in a way of understanding. Now let me go back here, because I wanna show y'all the importance of understanding. In chapter 8, verse 14, counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. By me kings reign, and rulers decree justice. These are the of the attributes of understanding. All the judges of the earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. Riches and honor are with me, enduring riches and righteousness. Now, let me show you. Back in chapter 4, we're still talking about wisdom and understanding. In verse 5, it says, get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Verse 8. Exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. That's understanding. That's not tithes and offering. That's not given to pastor. Okay? That's not a special donation or whatever celebration. The Bible say, man, when you exalt wisdom and understanding, it'll bring something to you. Man, that's what I'm trying to get in my life. You know, I want to experience this. I want to experience. Matter of fact, since well, this is God's day, so let's talk about it. So you know, like a lot of people will take tomorrow and make it the Sabbath, the first day of the week, but there's a blessing to honoring the Sabbath. Your calendar goes from Sunday to Saturday, but your week goes from Monday to Sunday. And your week is traditional. That's tradition. That your week starts on Monday, the second day of the week, and ends on the first day of the week. That's tradition. Because everybody and their mama will be going to church tomorrow. With just about everybody. But listen to this. This is Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13. If you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, not going to the laundromat, not washing your cars, let's see. The question is, and how much more should we honor the women of the world if God refers to wisdom as her? Well, what's going on, Dwayne? How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Dave. I got David, Edward, and Dwayne up in here. Listen, see, this is the part that people don't understand. The woman is the power. Why is that? Because everything comes from her. You ain't gonna produce no offsprings unless it comes through a woman. And notice, the woman carries a baby for 9 months. That's how they bond with a baby. Anytime a man wants to bond with his child, he got to do that through touch. That's how men bond with their children, through their touch. And look how many men don't want to touch their children, don't want to hold their hands. And that's how you bond with your children, because the mother carries them for 9 months. They automatically have a bond. But with fathers, you got to bond with your children through church. Okay. Hold on a second, y'all. I need to respond to this. So we bond with our children through church. Remember I told y'all that if the institution of slavery was designed to be permanent, through the status of the mother, what other institutions are designed based on the status of that woman? They had the power to procreate. And see, here's what we don't want to acknowledge, especially in the black community. Right now, we dealing with the offsprings of some very angry, bitter women. That's what we dealing with right now. We dealing with the offsprings. Back in the 80s, we had some very angry, bitter women that was making babies like flies. Okay? What's going on, Jamie? Okay? All right? And this is why we have in a situation, so that woman is the answer. If you get her straight, these fellas gonna get in line. It's just that simple. You wanna get a man straight, a woman can do it. Okay? But listen to this. Let me go back to Isaiah 38. If you turn your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy day of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasures, nor speaking your own words, then you shall delight yourself in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride on the high hills of the earth, and feed you with the heritage of Jacob your father. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. There's some power, man, on this day. And that's what I'm trying to activate. And so I just said, you know what? Until I can activate some of this stuff, let me just sit down and be quiet. And just keep focused on trying to do this. Okay? So anyway, let's get back to this. Let's get back to chapter 9. Verse 4. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, come, eat of my bread and drink of my wine I have mixed. And I want you to notice, who has the most influence? The man or the woman? And it's that woman. See, because if truth be told, everything we do as men is centered around some kind of woman, whether it's your wife, your significant other, your mama, your grandmama. Somebody is the motivation for a man to get out and do what he do. Matter of fact, we could solve the crime problem, the drug problem in our community overnight with some women. If these women would stop chasing these dope boys, they wouldn't have no need to get out there and do what they do. It's just that simple. It ain't because they can't find no job. They don't want to work for McDonald's. They know if they got a pocket full of money, they can get a pick of the litter and don't even have to have an education. They could be a high school dropout, but if they got a pocket full of money, they can get a pick of the litter. Okay, because the women gonna follow that money. They gonna follow. Matter of fact, I saw this thing where Cam Newton's girlfriend is saying that she pregnant, and she was on stage saying that she was the third baby mama, and she was carrying the sixth child. And she was like, a lot of y'all saying that wouldn't be me. But you ain't never had no man with $100 million put no pressure on you. See, it goes back to that money. And this is what I've been trying to tell people. Man, they're going to follow that money. If you give somebody some money, the world is going to turn their attention to them. Because that's what's important. Money. And folk don't, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Okay. Verse 5. Come eat of my bread and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding. Man, when you understand something, you know how to apply it. You know how it fits. When you understand something, you can have all the wisdom in the world, but if you ain't got understanding of how to apply that wisdom, it's wasteless. It's useless. If you don't have the understanding of how to apply it, it's useless. All right? That's why it tells you, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. So you can know how to apply this to your everyday life. And this is why I like Proverbs, because Proverbs will give you solutions to everyday life. Okay? This will show you how to live and get along with people. It will show you the warnings if you pay attention. Okay? Verse 7. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself. Now, y'all know how I do. I like to give out definitions. And let's look up that word, scoffer. Scoffer. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Scoffer. To show contempt by derisive acts or language. To show contempt. When you're a scoffer, you show contempt. You ain't got no respect. Okay, listen. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself. And he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. And see, a lot of y'all going out here making this very mistake right here, trying to correct some fools that don't have no intentions whatsoever. And you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. And you have to have the wisdom and understanding to know when whoever you dealing with is not the right person, they ain't got no wisdom, this is a fool. You gonna have to be able to judge that. Okay? Listen, he who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself. And he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hates you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Why? Because you have shown him another path. You have given him some more knowledge. And see, and that's what correction is. Correction is knowledge. Unfortunately, you got some people that have to be into forced correction. Okay? That's why they got jails and prisons. To put people in there to force them to do the right thing. And it still ain't working. Okay? Because look how full the jails are. Verse 9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. Wisdom. When you teach a just man, what's a just man? Somebody that ain't going to lie to you, ain't going to steal from you. Um, that's something I got to deal with. Okay? A just man. He's not harmful. That just man. And see, and right now, this is the travesty, and I see this every day, that right now people are afraid to even trust. They afraid to even trust. That's the problem in a nutshell right now. People are afraid to trust because they've been hurt and abused and misused for so many, and you have to blame them that they didn't pick up that person that was no good. They didn't recognize them. And see, and a lot of y'all don't recognize this kind of stuff because you don't learn this kind of information. Because this will tell you who to look out for and what to watch out for. But most of y'all don't want to pay that. And you know, and especially them Jesus freaks that's going to come tell you, anytime somebody come and tell you somebody need Jesus, man, that should throw you a red flag up. And think about this. With all of these people running around here talking about Jesus, why is crime so out of control in neighborhoods? Jesus ain't working in your neighborhood, but yet you trying to get somebody. Why don't you show how Jesus is working? This same Jesus you talking about, show how he's working. Show some manifestation. Show some testimonies. And see, a lot of people don't have a testimony. Okay? Verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Okay? For by me, your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. Good God Almighty. Listen, there's another trait that comes. It says, verse 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Verse 11, for by me your days will be multiplied. Man, who don't want to live a long life? Who don't want to live a long life? And the Bible says, not only will your days be multiplied, but listen, back over here, say, that I may cause those who love me to inherit wealth. So now you're getting wealth. Oh, and it shows you. Let me show you. Hold on a second. Let me show you this. Where is that? Where is that? Where it talks about in a right hand is riches and honor, and in the left hand is long. Let me see. Hold on a second. Oh, here it is right here. This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse, let me start at verse 13. Happy is the man who finds wisdom and the man who gains understanding, for her proceeds are better than the profits of silver, and her gain than fine gold. Verse 15, she's more precious than rubies, and all the things you may desire cannot compare with her. Verse 16, length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. That's understanding. When you embrace understanding, it says right here, length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. Okay? That's understand. So back over here, when it says, for by me, this is chapter 9, verse 11. For by me, your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. Verse 12. If you are wise for yourself. And if you scoff, you will bear it alone. And see, this is what I think a lot of people are losing sight of. Man, you can live any kind of lifestyle you want to live. Ain't gonna have nothing to do with me. The lifestyle you living ain't got nothing. I'm not gonna get one thing. Ain't gonna not one benefit. When you at the end of the day, when you close your eyes, how you lived your life ain't gonna affect me, and vice versa. When I close my eyes, how I live my life ain't gonna have no impact on you. You alone gonna have to deal with how you live. And since because so many people right now are just into what they can get today. They only concerned about today. They ain't looking down the road. They don't care about their future. They just concerned about what they can get today. And they still ain't happy. Still ain't happy. You got people right now with bukus of money, miserable. Can go anywhere in the world, miserable. And yet, you got some people that struggle day to day, and some of the happiest people on the earth. And they live from day to day. Okay? Verse 12. Oh, okay. Well, if you're wise for yourself. And if you scoff, you will bear it alone. Verse 13. A foolish woman is clamorous. She's simple and knows nothing. Let's look up that word, clamorous. Clamorous. Making a loud and confused noise. Clamorous. Making a loud and confused noise. Listen. A foolish woman is loud, noisy, drama queen, a foolish woman. All right? She's simple and knows nothing. Now, notice we back to that woman again. Okay? We're back to that woman again. See, because it's that woman, if you get hooked up with the wrong one, that can take you to hell. It's that woman. All right? Verse 14. For she sits at the door of her house on a seat by the highest places of the city. Verse 15. To call to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Verse 16. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And as for him who lacks understanding, she says, wait a minute. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And as for him who lacks understanding, she says to him. Verse 17, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. Verse 18, but he does not know the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell. Now, if you don't think that woman is powerful, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Where is that? Here we go. Here we go. Listen to this. This is Proverbs chapter 5. I'm going to go to verse 3. For the lips of an immoral woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. Listen to this. Matter of fact, let me look up this word immoral. Immoral. Not conforming to accepted standards of what's right. You'll cheat. You don't have a problem going out stealing somebody else's you don't have a problem going out and messing with something that don't belong to you. You don't have a problem with that. See, you don't have a problem cheating. You don't have a problem cutting corners. And listen, but in the end, she's bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lay hold of hell. Least you ponder her path of her life, her ways are unstable, and you do not know them. See, when you're dealing with an immoral woman, man, it's impossible. Bible said her mouth is smoother than oil. And have you ever tried to grasp something that was oily? You can't hold it. You can't get a grip. When he say her mouth is smoother than oil, man, and she can have you on top of the world with lies. And this is how a lot of our young men and women get caught up in sin, because the person that's enticing them is glamorizing that lifestyle. Glamorizing it. That's how sin traps you. Sin traps you because it glamorizes itself until it gets you, and then all hell breaks loose. And this is why you got so many Christians right now committing suicide, because they were glamorized by some sin and they thought it was right. See, so this is what the problem is, but because we don't know this, we don't share this. See, we don't talk about this, because now for a woman, no matter what age she is, to say that she's a virgin, man, she gonna get bullied. They gonna talk about her. Why? Because the world has glamorized adultery, fornication, the gay lifestyle. It's glamorized. That's what's getting you attention. for you to come out here and sin, and they'll put you on top of the world. Oh, man, now I get it. When the Bible say, why gain the whole world and lose your only soul? Because you've been glamorized. See, you in it for the wrong reason, for the notoriety. Not for who you can help. Because when you embrace sin, you are destroying. You ain't helping nobody. When you embrace sin, you now doing the devil's work. When you embrace sin, but man, when you live in a righteous lifestyle, you out here trying to save people, man, trying to uplift people, trying to help people. And right now, everybody trying to step on people to get up to the next level. See, they haven't figured out how to get to the next level, helping somebody else up. The only way they know how to get there is step on somebody, use them, abuse them, mistreat them. This is the problem. And like I said, tomorrow, look how many people gonna be dressed up in their Sunday best going to church. And it's the first day of the week. It's the first day of the week. And they don't want to break it because of tradition. See, that's how tradition has trapped so many Christians. Because they're afraid to be different. And God knows, man, when you walk this Christian lifestyle, when you walk a righteous lifestyle, you can't run with the crowd. You can't do as the crowd do. You can't follow the crowd. When you walk in a righteous lifestyle, man, you're gonna have to forsake something. You got to give something up. It's just that simple. And you know, again, man, it's all about how you're living. All about how you're living. All right? So, it's not easy, y'all. What I'm telling you is not easy at all. Because sometimes you're going to run into that brick wall, especially when you're trying to do right. And see, when you're trying to do it the right way, the devil is going to frustrate you with wrong, not giving you the results that you think you should be getting, to discourage you. Remember, adversity guards the door to success. If you're going to get in the door of success, you got to go through some stuff. You're going to have to experience some stuff, man. You know, you're going to be up against it. And I'm learning that you're going to either be in fear when you face adversity, or you're going to be in faith. Those are the only two options you got. When you up against adversity, either you're going to fight it with fear, or you're going to fight it with faith. And when you fight it with fear, see, now you're trying to figure out all the angles, how you can get it done when you're fighting with fear. But when you're fighting with faith, man, that's God. That's up to God. However he gonna make this happen, let him make it happen. I can't worry about it. but I have to still believe, because the Bible say all things. Matter of fact, let me show you this. Let me find this scripture. Um, here we go. Mark 9:23. See, listen to this. Okay, now, this was the father who had his son was epileptic. He'd have seizures, and he took the boy to the disciples, but they couldn't do nothing with him. So he brought him to Jesus. Say, hey, listen. This is 9. I'm gonna start at verse 17. Then one of the crowd answered and said, Teacher, I brought you my son who has a mute spirit, and wherever it seizes him, it throws him down. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. So I spoke to your disciples that they should cast it out, but they could not. All right? Verse 19. He answered him and said, O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I bear with you? Bring him to me. Verse 20. Then they brought him to him, and when he saw him, immediately the spirit convulsed him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed, foaming at the mouth. So, verse 21. So he asked the father, how long has this been happening to him? And he said, from childhood. Verse 22. And often he has thrown both him in fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Verse 23. Then Jesus said to him, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Immediately, the father of the child cried out with tears and said, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. And see, that unbelief is nothing but doubt. That's all unbelief is. It's doubt. And no matter what decision you try to do, man, you think unbelief, doubt? Don't try to look at you. Going down to that White House every day. And ain't nobody paying you no mind. Ain't nobody caring about that. You think I don't get that conversation in my head? When I get up in here, man, and a lot of times I don't even know how I'm going to get this room paid for and God open up a way. Help my unbelief, man. And see, and that's what so many people are struggling with right now is unbelief. A lot of people are questioning God right now. There are a lot of people. They probably won't ashamed to say it publicly, but a lot of people. A lot of people. So that's, you know, and you know, and listen, and listen, let me when Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, deaf and dumb spirit, I command you, come out of him and enter him no more. Then the spirit cried out, convulsed him greatly, and came out of him. And he became as one dead, so that many said, he is dead. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he came into the house, his disciple asked him privately, why could we not cast it out? So he said to them, this kind of spirit can only come out through prayer and fasting. And see, this is one of the things that I am working on right now, is when you pray as though you have already received. See, when you pray as though you have already received. And when you have an attitude that you have already received something, then you're expecting it. You're expecting it. When you know you're gonna receive something, you're expecting it. And matter of fact, let me get that scripture. Um, 11:24. Listen to this. Okay. This is Mark chapter 11. I'm gonna start at verse 20. Now in the morning, as they passed by and saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. Oh, I need to go back. Let me go back to verse 12. Now the next day, when they come out from Bethany, he was hungry. And seeing from afar a fig tree having leaves, he went to see if perhaps he would find something on it. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. In response, Jesus said to it, let no man eat from you ever again. And his disciples heard that. Okay? Now listen. So, verse 20, now in the morning, as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter, remembering, said to him, Rabbi, look, the fig tree which you cursed has withered away. Verse 22, so Jesus answered and said to them, have faith in God. For surely I say to you, whoever says to the mountain, be removed, be cast into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believe those things he say will be done, will have whatever he says. See, when you believe, and that is what the devil is going to attack, is your belief. And how he attacks your belief is with adversity. You notice, man, when it looks like you finally trying to climb up out of this hole, here comes something else to get you discouraged, to attack your belief. And that's where most people struggle, is what they believe. Therefore, verse 24, therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them. Man, when you believe that you're going to receive something, you're expecting it. You are expecting it. You think I'm lying? Whatever day you get paid on, you believe that. And whenever that day come around, you expecting your money to show you. See, just to show you how you believe. My payday is on the 15th of every month. My payday is every Wednesday. Every Wednesday come around. Now you expecting some money. And the Bible say, whatever things you ask for when you pray, believe that you receive them and you will have them. Okay? So when you're praying not for a prayer of begging. Your prayer is thanksgiving. Because you pray, and now you see why the Bible says pray without ceasing. Because when you pray without ceasing, man, you're always thankful. You're always thankful because you're believing that you got. Lord, I just thank you for the money, for the house, for the healing. I thank you. And see, and unfortunately, one of the things we leave out is gratitude. A lot of us are not grateful for what God has done in our lives. A lot of us take that for granted. A lot of people take this day for granted. There are some people right here today. This is the end of the line for them. And they take that for granted. See, they going to the football game, to the basketball, to the party, to the club, and this their last night. This their last day on earth, and they got plans because they take that for granted. Isn't it amazing, man, when it comes to sin, we believe that we receive, we get that, but when it comes to righteousness, that's where we struggle. See, when it comes to living the right lifestyle, when it comes to being accountable, all right? Man, thank y'all. How long I've been on here? Almost an hour. Man, thank y'all. Like I said, listen, y'all. I'm just trying to manifest some stuff in my life right now so that I can show people how I did it. And that's what I'm concentrating on. Trying to take this knowledge that I'm learning and see how I can apply it to my life. Because if I learn how to apply it to my life, then I can show you how to apply it to yours. And that's what I'm trying to do. And so, right now, I don't have the fruit that I'm looking for, that I'm expecting. And when I get it, y'all be the first ones to know. Look at the fruit I got. Look at it. Well, see, Steve, if my message was successful, if people would support me financially, they would have to talk about it. The reason the message can't move is because, and I learned this when I ran for mayor. No matter how good your message is, no matter how right it might be, man, if people ain't supporting you financially, you're not viable. You're not a viable person. And right now, out of fear, people don't want to support something positive financially, out of fear. because of what I'm going to do with the money. Well, maybe something else positive. And they won't even give you a chance. Like I told you, I've been saying this, man, 30 years. I didn't just start talking about give positive. I just listen. I'm gonna get the date on this. I'm gonna show you the date so that you won't think I'm lying. Let's see if the date on here. Oh no, the date is not on here. Everything but the date. God diggity dog. But anyway, so that you can see, Linda wants to fight City Hall and win. I mean, you know, I don't know what else I have to do to show people I'm not afraid to stand up and speak up. I'm not afraid. I don't know what I got to do to show people I'm not afraid to speak up. So if you make me successful, man, I know how to put this message. I can get this message in mainstream. But, you know, it takes money, man. And that's what people don't want to, they want to, oh no, I don't know, I can't do that. And it's positive. And they agree with it. But fear has them paralyzed. Fear has them second guessing. Fear has them doubting. Fear. This is all, and you're scared and ain't nothing around you is safe. But you're afraid to give something new a chance. You're afraid to try something different. And this is the problem. And as long as, because I keep telling y'all, man, this is about good versus evil. They got us on this race kick, fighting over races. It ain't but one mankind, man. Ain't but one mankind. It's just one mankind, male or female. And they got us fighting over races. And this is good versus evil. And if good people would come together and support other good people, but because you don't know who you are, that's why you're afraid. Because you don't know yourself. And consequently, when you see something else, man, you ain't gonna trust it. Because you don't trust what you would do. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It's about what you would do. How you would respond. And that's how you treat me. So all I can do is just keep getting out here every day. Every day, man. And see, look, we got sports that separate us. People killing each other over sports. Child support. People ain't speaking every day. Some of them killing each other over child support. Divorce court. Killing each other. Won't speak to each other. You got parents sleeping under the same roof in separate bedrooms, raising dysfunctional children that will turn around and tell you they don't hate nobody. But you can't even sleep in the same bed with the person you once said you loved. Okay? Bernie, man, thank you for joining me, brother. Thank you, man. So as a result, this is why we got the confusion in our community that we have. Because we are afraid to try something different. And as long as the man, which is the system, can keep us afraid of each other, we ain't gonna talk to each other. What's going on, man? How you doing? Thank you for joining me. We want to talk to each other. We want to uplift each other. We want to encourage each other. Because we're afraid. And anytime you are afraid to promote good, to promote positive, anytime you're afraid of that, man, it's a lost cause. And this is what I've been trying to show people. Man, we got to get rid of this fear. This is how they're keeping us divided. Because as long as we're afraid of each other, we ain't going to talk to one another. We ain't going to trust one another. What person you trust you afraid of? Think about that. What person you trust you afraid of? You don't want to have nothing to do with them. And because we're afraid of each other, we don't want to have nothing to do with each other. And the very person you're afraid of got your answer. That's the person that's got your answer, and you're scared of them. And here's the kicker. A lot of these people I'm talking about believe in the same Jesus and won't even speak to each other. You know how many Christians are afraid of other Christians? Won't even speak to them. Well, they're not fearing God. They're fearing themselves. Because when you fear God, you have a reverence for the righteous lifestyle. When you fear God, you have a reverence for a righteous lifestyle. You ain't gonna get out here and cheat and deceive and lie and steal. When you have a fear of God, these people fear themselves. Ain't got nothing to do with God. But a lot of them will pretend that it's about God. It ain't about God, man, because God is not a God of fear. And see, and here's the thing. You're going to either walk in faith or you're going to walk in fear. And right now, the majority of the people are walking in fear. They don't even want to give faith a chance. Man, in fact, most of them don't even think faith works. Because the body of Christ has been so deceived by a lot of preachers. You got a lot of preachers right now that are wolves in sheep clothing. The only thing they're doing is sleeping with the sheep and getting rich. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. Sleeping with the sheep. And notice, I ain't put no gender on that. See, and listen, and you talk about lifestyle, shoot. Some of the easiest sex you can find right now is in church. Let me say that again. Some of the easiest sex you can find right now in the world, sitting right in church. Put on a suit, look halfway decent, and walk in any church. See, when somebody see this Bible, oh man, look how beat up that Bible. He used that Bible. Look at, all I got to do is walk in church with this right here. Okay? Okay? All I got to do is walk in church, put a suit on, and walk in church with this right here. Guarantee you, in a month or less, I can get me some sex. In a month or less, we fornicating and sitting right there praising the Lord. Fornicating. Right after, man, listen, guilty. Went to church, done served, done ushered, went to a restaurant, got some food, and went straight and jumped into bed. Guilty. And matter of fact, Shoot, that's some of the best punani you can get. When you know you ain't supposed to be doing it, that's when you enjoy it. That's when it's exciting. When you ain't supposed to be doing it. That's how you think these people get caught up in these adulterous situations? Because of the excitement of getting caught. It's what drives their passion. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And then got down and prayed before I got in that bed. Then got down and prayed and jumped right in that punani. Guilty. I can't speak for nobody else. Guilty. But see, that's what taught me how to love this woman right here. That's what taught me how to love her. All the mistakes I made, this is what taught me how to love my wife. I told y'all, man, I've been married 4 years, and it's been 4 years since I seen my wife. Shortly after, we were together like, let's see, 2 months, a little over 2 months, in a couple of weeks, before she went back to the Philippines, before the COVID, before the world shut down, and we got separated. And so when I've been trying to, make something work. Yeah. See, that's what I'm telling you, man. Some of the easiest sex you can find right now is in the church. Because, see, them people in church were once sinners. And that sin stain is still with them. See, just because you in church don't mean you still don't have that. You don't think about sex. I mean, come on, man. Yes, indeed. You don't think just because you are saved and you born again, you don't get horny. Come on, man. If you think that's the case, you sadly mistaken. That's when the devil really gonna pour it on you. When you trying to live right, when you trying to get that stuff up, that's when it's gonna be more accessible to you. That's when sin really gonna attack you. And see, I'm using myself as an example. See, I know right now that there are some women don't give a damn about this woman right here. They could care less about her. There are some women right now that could care less about my wife. Matter of fact, the fact that I haven't seen her in 4 years gonna make them even more determined. Oh, I know he won't. But see, what you don't realize, man, God has to reward me for my faithfulness. I could be screwing out of both legs right now, and my wife wouldn't even know it. God would know it. But see, for once in my life, man, I want to see what it's like to become successful with nothing in between me and my wife, to see what our passion is going to be like. Now, I know what it's like broke, but I wonder what would the passion be like when all my needs are met? When I ain't got to worry about nothing. I wonder what that would be like. You see, and that's the mindset. That, see, when the Bible say pray as though you have received, that believe you receive it. See, that's when I pray, man, I'm Lord, yes, I'm saving all this passion for my wife. She gonna be the first one. She will be the first one. Ain't no strange woman gonna come in and be able to get some success, and then I'm gonna turn around and go sleep with a stranger before I do my wife? Come on, man. Come on. Ain't no blessing in that. But when you start talking like, oh, he think he better. I am better. You're right. I am better than most people. I'm not gonna do the shit they gonna do. You're right. I am better. And seeing some of y'all got a problem with being better than other people. See, you look at that like it's a curse. And won't even say, yes, you better. Yes, you are. And you have to believe that. But see, ain't no reward for doing it right. Right now, all of the rewards are for wrong. It's just that simple. Because I know my wife. I know my wife. That's how I know. Because I know my wife. I ain't worried about her. That's the least of my worries, man. My wife is the least of my worries. Man, in fact, I wouldn't be able to if I was with any other woman, I'd have never discovered this True Conductor brand. I'd have never discovered this. If I was with any other woman, even if my wife was right here, right now, and 9 times out of 10, if she was here, it would be because she overstayed her visa. Okay? So I couldn't make no noise. I wouldn't be able to get on here and talk the talk I'm talking, because I don't want to bring no attention to my wife. But because I don't have that worry, see, now I can get out here and focus, because I ain't got to worry about the faithfulness of my wife. See, you got to, you have to understand, this ain't the American culture that we do. Y'all look up that Filipino culture. They have a different take on marriage. It's not like Americans. They have a different take on family, not like Americans. And see, unfortunately, a lot of people, especially when they get involved with some people from other parts of the world, they happen to use America as their standard. And it might be totally different from where those people came from. So you got to know what you're dealing with, man. And like I said, I know my wife's culture. I know what their belief is. So now, man, I can focus on some stuff. And I ain't got to be divided. Thank you, man. And absolutely. 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 That is it. And see, and like, man, I my wife is private. And I don't try to put her out on social media, because I know she's a private woman. Now, when she's by my side, I'll be able to, man, here my wife, man. Here, y'all, this is my wife. And right now, I can honestly say that my wife is my best kept secret. My wife is my best kept secret. Honest to God, man. My wife is my best kept secret. Hold on a second. This the first day This first time we met right here. This the first time we met right here. This is my way. This is the first time this $5 bill, the first time we walked down the street as husband and wife, we both saw this $5 bill at the same time. And look at that money. There's some money. Both of us pointed at the first time we walked down the street as husband and wife, this was in the street. It was in the street. So I can't expect God to be a blessing, and I can't uphold my part. And see, and this is the problem right now with a lot of Christians are not upholding their part. And they want God to honor his. But they can't honor God. But they want God's honor. Okay? Yes, yeah, it is. And see, and let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. When you honest, you truthful, and you're communicating, you're going to establish a connection. You're going to establish a connection. It's going to be a connection there. Just like if you're lying, if you're cheating, if you're deceiving, you're going to establish that connection of distrust. There's always going to be a connection that you're going to establish. And like I said, man, I wanna experience some success and see what it's like to be with my wife, to be around my wife, knowing I can send you anywhere in the world you want to go, first class or private. I just want to see what that feel like, man. And you know, and imagine, man. Imagine being able to be with somebody. Absolutely. 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 Yes. My wife would be here. But this was the time for me to build a foundation for what I'm standing on. These 4 years have not been in vain. I mean, look, man. When my wife left here, I just had a Black History Tour business. DCBlackTours.com. That's all I had. When I sent my wife back to the Philippines, all I had was my tour business. Now, 4 years later, not only have I, and people always laugh, oh, there he go talking about that dinnerware, but every idea, that's it. This started on a piece of paper. 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 Y'all almost see. This started on a piece of paper. You know, this started on a piece of paper. So when people laugh that I got my dinnerware on a piece of paper, this is where it starts. This is where it starts. On a piece of paper. That's where it starts. And look how many people laugh at me. Because I put my idea on a piece of paper. That's where it starts. So it's just now manifesting it off this paper into reality. That's where it starts. So you know, stand your ground, man. Listen, what I'm telling y'all ain't easy. There are many days, boy, sometimes I just want to throw the towel in on this. I get tired. I get tired of fighting. I get tired of being without. Okay? I just, sometimes I get tired, man. I get tired. I really do. Sometimes it's very frustrating to be without, to be lacking. And and see, it's one thing to lack and not have any paths you can walk down, or you're just stuck. Your back is up against the wall and you ain't got nothing. Man, I'm brother, I'm every day I work on believing. Okay? Well, I've been in 7 years. My tour has been around 7 years, so I've been, and see, let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something. When I started my tours, I had a 2015 Ford Transit van and a 2014 Mercedes Sprinter. I had 2 trucks when I started my tours and ended up losing both of them. I did. And what saved me was when I had my trucks, because I always looked like this. And my trucks were always waxed, clean. So when people wanted to make an impression, they would call me. Hey, Don, you busy? Can you do this job for me? Man, no problem. No problem. And this one Nigerian, Loba Tours, Loba Tours. Joe called me up one day. He called me Captain Buddy. Where you been? My company's name is Capital Buddy. So he would call me Captain Buddy. He said, where you been? I said, man, I got my trucks repossessed. He said, why don't you tell me? I said, well, it is what it is. He said, well, do you mind helping me? I said, no, I'll help you. So he said, meet me at the hotel, and I got 2 sets of keys for you. I'm going to give you a 12-passenger and a 15-passenger van. And every time I need you to go get the truck, do the tour, and man, I was on my bicycle. I would ride my bicycle, get on the subway, ride about 2 miles to get the van, and then and when I finished the tour, now I got to go back, take the van back, and it's 10:30, 11 o'clock, get back on the bike, get on the subway, and go back home. So finally, man, I was doing his tours so good. He called me up one day. He said, Captain Buddy, he said, take the 12-passenger home with you. So when I call you, you can come right away. And for 2 years, I drove that dude's van, didn't have to pay no maintenance, didn't have to pay no gas. I did his tours, and I did my tours for 2 years. That's how I'm still in business right now. 2 years. Because I helped somebody else. And when I was really in need, somebody helped me. Okay? And mind you, let me get my hands on some money. That's the first person I'm going to go and say, hey, man, here's a blessing for you. This is a blessing for you. That's the first person I'm going to bless. Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't still be here. Wouldn't even still be here. And see, that's a testimony, man. I can show you my testimonies. Okay? Absolutely. And see, and listen, y'all. My goal is to be the biggest giver this world has ever seen. That's my goal, man. I want to be able to, I'm not giving to organizations, businesses. I'm giving to people. See, a lot of entertainers and athletes, money has made them hostages. They can't come out among us because people be all kind of doing all kind of crazy shit. But see, my response to that is real simple. When I was broke, when I was struggling, you wasn't chasing me down. You wasn't outside my house. Get the fuck on gone. Okay? You wasn't doing it when I was broke. Now that you know I got some money, get the fuck on gone. Don't come, because I have a great relationship with God. It's just that simple. Okay? I have a great relationship with God. When God tell me, God can trust me with some money. God, even living in this hotel, man, I still been blessing people. In this hotel, I still been a blessing. And sometimes, man, I've had to pay from day to day. I still be a blessing. Every Friday, I had this maid come in and clean my room. Every Friday, she come in and clean. Every Friday she come in, man, I leave her a $20 tip. And sometimes, like yesterday, man, in fact, I just told her yesterday, come back next week. Give me some clean towels. Come back next week. Here's $20. Come back and clean the room next week. You know, but here's your $20. I leave a $20 tip. Because I can trust her. I done tried her. See, I done tried her and I can trust her. So I don't mind being a blessing to her. Because I done tried her. Okay? And that's all I want to do, man. I just want, because I know how it is to survive, to struggle. And see, and right now, man, people got some money. Man, what is it going to hurt you to give somebody $5,000? Here's $5,000 for you. Here, man, here's a little stepping stone. Do something with it. Do something with it. And if you can walk around and bless people like that, to give them a chance. But see, most folk get a blessing. No, they wouldn't know what to do, man. The first thing they're going to do is go out here. I don't need the big houses. I don't need a whole bunch of cars. I'm 70 years old. I don't need a bunch of cars. What am I going to do with a whole bunch of cars? Nothing. What am I going to do with a big mansion? Nothing. My wife wouldn't even want no mansion. She wants something that's intimate. She don't want nothing spread all out. She wants something where she can feel. Okay? Well, see, here again, listen, man. That if I got some money, first thing I'm going to do is launch this. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I get my hands on them. First thing I'm going to do is launch my dinnerware line. That's the first. Now I can not only launch the line, but I can launch the accessories that go with it. This dinnerware line gonna have to have accessories. It's gotta have accessories. That's another stream of income. But most folk are just built to consume. They don't know how to grow their money. Okay? They don't know how to grow their money. They don't know. They don't have any ideas. They can and see and this is one of the mistakes companies are not picking me up as a sponsor, because I know how to make money. I just have never had the financial backing. All my stuff has been pulling myself up by my bootstraps. Look, y'all. See, before you think, like, this is 2000. Look at me. Look how young and fresh I look right there. That's 23 years ago. This is the African tabletop. 2622 Georgia Avenue Northwest. Right now, it's a hip-hop museum. Where the hip-hop museum, man, that was my first storefront. And it's on my tour. Right as I come out of Howard University. The very first storefront I ever been a part of is right in front of me when I come out of Howard University on my tour. Now, how about that? Not only do I show the black history of DC, but I show my history as well. I show my history as well. And see, and what I've been trying to show people is, see, they jumping on these jokers that's fly by night. Man, I just showed you, I read an article. Listen what I said back in 94. Listen to what I said back in 94. Listen to this. My own people who are held hostage by young black men in their own neighborhoods, he complained, aren't willing to give a positive role model and opportunity. This was back in 94. And here I am with DCBlackTours.com. I got a message, stop hating each other because you disagree, that'll fit anywhere in the world, and look at me, I'm struggling. Thank you. Do you know what, man, do you know how you would make somebody's day if you walk and say, hey man, here's 5,000. Here's $5,000 for you. You walk into a business, give them your credit card, hit me up for $5,000. Have a blessed day. Hit me up for $5,000. And that's the least that I would give. $5,000 to a person. That $5,000 would be nothing. Hey man, get a start. One day, I'm going to be able to go down through my Cash App and be a blessing to everybody that's been a blessing to me. One day I'm going to be able to do that. Just go down through my Cash App, man. Here, 500,000. Here, 2,000. Just bless people because you've been a blessing to me. Okay? All right? It could, man. But most folk don't see it that way. See, most folk got their fists just like this. They trying to hold on to everything they got, and they get nothing. But man, when you keep your hand open, not only is something going to go out, but something can come in. Because now you got your hand in the proper position. It's open. And most folk don't know how to give. Most people, see, listen to me, y'all. You can give from your head. No, you can't. Or you can give with your heart. See, when you give from your head, that's something you done plotted out. You got an agenda with that. When you giving from your head. But man, when you give on your heart, that's something you walk up on. You see somebody and say, man, here, be a blessing. Lord, let me, here, this is a blessing for you. And you ain't got to ask me. And see, I ain't worried about security. Because I'm going to be blessing folk around me so good that people ain't going to let you mess with me. Because they know I'm a blessing. And see, and this is the problem. I think this is the problem, especially in the black community. The people that's trying to help are the ones they take advantage of. The ones they steal from. Them the ones that they use. The very people that's trying to make a difference in the community. These young boys out here trying to do them, take them raw. You can't turn your back on them. And see, and I'm gonna be real clear, man. Don't walk up there and ask me for shit. Okay? Don't ask me for nothing. Just be around me. You're gonna get blessed. Because what you ask for might be less than what I'm the Lord telling me to give you. And see, and again, see, this is how I'm dealing with this. See, the people that come up and ask me for some help, that's a red flag. Because like I said, when I was broke, you weren't asking me for no help. You weren't asking me to help you out when I was broke. But now you in line because you know I got some money? Man, get the fuck up out of here. I've been coming into this restaurant over 30 years. And I own in 10. Well, then why don't you get on going then? If you can't understand, you ain't got to voice your opinion. Get the hell on up out of here. Get the hell on up out of here. Since you can't understand, get out. You can leave. You're welcome to leave. And I'm giving you a warning before I block you. So I'm giving you a warning. I don't need to know what, if you, go on, man. Who cares about you? You come up here like you special. Like you got some kind of priority. You don't have no priority in here. And probably, who is this? Some Harley Charlie, some damn fake, a troll. One of my trolls. Come up in here talking this old bullshit. I got fucked up teeth. That's why I got the mask on. When I get some money, I can take the mask off. When I get some money, I can go to a dentist, get my teeth fixed because I can pay cash. I can go whoever I want to. See, when I can pay cash. Okay? No, man. I don't mind. I don't mind because I know that's one of my trolls. I know that's one of my trolls. I know it is. All right? So that's my position, y'all. Man, I want to just be able to hook my family up so they can be secure in their future and help as many people as I can. At 70 years old, man, $10 billion is going to go through my hand. I keep saying that number. I'm saying, man, I'm going to give away $10 billion before going to come through these hands to people before I leave this earth. Now, how many people say, man, God, now I'm God's distribution channel. Like, man, you in a hotel. Look at you. But the Bible say, call those things that be not as though they were. See, that's the part you missing. The Bible say, call those things that be not as though, man, $10 billion coming through these hands before I leave this earth. I'm going to put $10 billion into the hands of people all over the world before I leave this earth. That's my goal. I don't know how it's going to happen. Don't know. But I'm God's distribution channel. When God want to get some wealth to some people in the earth realm, he going to send it through me. Because he know I'll obey. Because he know I'm going to obey what he tell me to do. So I'm his main distribution channel. That's what I want to be. That's what I am. I'm God's main distribution channel. in the earth realm. That's my position. See, and when you start talking some stuff like that, see, the people want to mind, man, you crazy. But if you look at it, to get some stuff work according to the Bible, you're gonna have to be crazy. In man's eyes, but you ain't crazy in God's eyes. Okay? You ain't crazy in God's eyes. And see, and let me tell y'all something. A righteous lifestyle has a lot to do in this, has a role to play. And you can get a lot of stuff done, but is it in righteousness? What's going on, Patty? Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining me. Is it in righteousness? And all I'm trying to show people, man, do it right. Just do it right. Don't lie to nobody. Don't cheat nobody. Don't steal from nobody. Do it right. Do it the right way. Have respect for people. Didn't say you were perfect. Didn't say you wouldn't cuss a mofo out. Didn't say that. But it say you ain't gonna harm nobody. You ain't gonna cheat nobody. You ain't gonna deceive or take advantage of nobody. All right? Man, thank y'all. I'm just trusting God. That's all I'm doing. I'm just trusting God. And wherever the chips fall, that's where they're going to be. But I can lay my head down. I did my part. I did my part. I'm meditating a lot now. Because I want to see if this works. I want to see if it works. That's my mission. I want to see how to make this work. Thank you, man. Oh yeah. What's her name? What is her name? Mackenzie Scott is her name. I think, yeah, Mackenzie Scott. That's her name. That's her name. Shoot, if I meet her, we'd be best friends. If I ever had the chance to meet Mackenzie, we'd be best friends. Straight up, we'd be best friends. If I ever had the chance to meet her in person, we would be best friends. Sure would. We'd be best friends. Yeah, we'd be best friends. If I ever had the chance to meet her, we would be best friends. That's the truth. We would be best friends. Sure would. And I guarantee you that. I guarantee you. I ever had a chance to meet her, that's going to be my best friend. My best friend. Yes, it is. And that's a bold statement. That's real bold. Okay? So, anyway, hey man, enjoy your day. I know a lot of y'all out doing your laundry and washing your car and grocery shopping. And man, spend some time with God today. Turn that phone off. Turn that television off. And get into some word. Commune with God today. This is the Sabbath day right here. And by the way, Speaking of Sabbath days, this is the worst day that you want to come and do a tour in DC. Saturday is the worst day. What? What? It's the worst day to want to do a tour in DC. Why is that, True Conductor? Because everybody going to protest? Protest on Saturday. That's when you got all the detours and street closures. And if you're trying to do a tour, 9 times out of 10, you're going to spend more time with detours and road closures than anything else. And people are not going to enjoy themselves. They're going to be frustrated. They're going to feel like they wasted their money, which they did. Because if you know anything about DC, you know Saturday is the day everybody come to town. Everybody protests on a Saturday. So that's when you got the majority of the street closures. And DC is on a Saturday. And I'm telling you, when you got these street closures, now everybody, and see, we ain't but 10 square miles. So when you get a traffic backup on one street, that's going to reverberate through the whole city. Everything going to slow down. I remember one time, man, they had a dude that was going to jump off the 14th Street Bridge. And they shut the traffic down both ways, going across the 14th Street Bridge. And that incident caused the traffic all around the Beltway to be jammed up. That's how bad it was. That one little thing, okay? If you like that kind of food, I can't eat it. I can't. It don't sit well with me. But if you like hamburgers and hot dogs and all that stuff, it's a great place, man. It's a great place. And Ben's Chili Bowl is where my tour, my night tour ends. At Ben's Chili Bowl. That's where my night tour ends. At Ben's Chili Bowl. And one day, I'm gonna be able to end my tours at a DC Black History Museum. See, that's another thing. If I got my hands on some money, man, I'd open up a DC Black History Museum. DC should have its own black. Look at all of the schools, organizations, started right here in DC, dying on the vines. Dying on the vines. All of the history that DC has gone through is dying on the vines because nobody's telling it. It's not in the, you can't tell the full story in the African American History Museum because you got to cover everybody. But this is where the world meets, right here. See, I don't care who you are, where you are in the world. If you want to conduct some business, you got to come right here. If you want something, you got to come here. That's why everybody come to that White House. That's why everybody want to see that White House. Because anything they want, that's where it's coming from. All over the world. The White House is the watering hole for the whole world. A lot of people don't even realize that. The watering hole for the whole world is the White House. That's the watering hole. That's where everybody gonna gather. So why not try to get their attention before they gonna gather? That's why I sit in front of the White House every day, because that's where the world is coming. And I figured out how to get the attention of the world was to play their national anthems. Now, I can get your attention. And you know how many people that don't even appreciate the fact that, one, when I play their national anthem, I'm representing them. And they scared to come up and say, man, thank you. I appreciate you doing this. Thank you. Thank you for representing us. They scared. But in the meantime, they got the phone up. They recording. And they sending it out all over the world. And you don't know who might see it. And see, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm gone. One thing, my grandmama used to dip snuff. Yeah, a lot of y'all don't know. Garrett snuff, as a matter of fact. It's like it's a fine powder like tobacco. And you take it and put it down between your lip and gum, and, and you spit out. And my grandmama always had a spit cup, and sometimes she missed the cup and get it in your car, right? But that's why my cousins didn't want her in their car. So every time she needed to go somewhere, I was the one. That was my job, to take my grandmama wherever she want to go. But see, what they didn't know was every time my grandmama got in my car, she gave me a little money to put in my pocket, and she filled my tank up with gas. Every time, okay? Oh no, it's not heavy. Whoever is in the White House has a tremendous impact on tourism. Whoever is in the White House have a tremendous impact. And now, one of the things that has hurt tourism in D.C. is foreigners can no longer visit the White House. They can't do White House tours. Foreigners can no longer, in order for you to do a White House tour now, you got to have a security clearance. And to get that security clearance, you got to go through your senator or your congressperson to do a White House tour. So because now foreigners cannot tour the White House like they used to, see, tourism is down. But when they could tour the White House, man, it was booming. And that's what has hurt the city. They can no longer tour the White House. Okay? So as a result, it's down. It's down. Tourism is down. And, but you got to make do with what you got. So you have to still make do. And this is to show you how a negative impact hurts us all, whether you want to realize it or not. These carjackings, this crime, it's hurting us. Because now our insurance is going to go up. See, now more prices are going to go up. Because things are out of control. And notice, nobody's promoting a narrative of unity. Nobody's saying, man, let's come together. Let's talk to each other. Notice that narrative is nobody's even pushing that idea of unity. And here's the sad part. You're going to have some Johnny-come-latelys that's just jumping on the bandwagon. See, they'll get all the attention. But the people that's been on the front lines, trying to push this for years, see, they'll still get ignored. But that flash in the pan will come along and get everything. And right now, and this is the problem, too many people are falling for that flash in the pan. And it ain't got no substance with it. It ain't got no track record. But it's a flash in the pan. All right? I, maybe, man, maybe I'm at fault here for believing that it's so simple that you can do what the Bible say do and and activate blessings in your life. And that's where I'm trying to get, man, is to be able to activate this word in my life so that it can produce the results I'm looking for. You know? And then I can go back to my wife and say, hey, I told you we was gonna be okay. I told you we was gonna be okay. Now do you believe me? Well, here again, man. Because we won't talk to each other, because we are afraid of each other, we won't create something that everybody could benefit from. And right now, as high as food prices are now, different communities should probably be coming together and creating food clubs where everybody can pool their money together and go in and buy bulk and split it up. Folk don't even want to do that, man. They don't even want to come together to help themselves. And they still struggling. And you got people right now struggling that could pool their money together, go buy bulk, and divide it up. And everybody wins. Everybody wins. But people don't want to see that. See, people don't want to try that. There's always an answer. It is, what are you willing to do to get there? They have some places in DC that are community gardens, but I'm talking about for them people that see when you start talking about a garden, that's work, man. That's work. When you talking about growing a garden ain't easy. That is work. And you got to be, not only is it work, but you got to enjoy nature to get out and grow a garden. And not only do you have to enjoy it, but you got to know what you're doing to keep your shit from getting ate up or infected. See, there's so many other things that go with gardening now. It ain't as simple as it used to be. Okay? So now you got to be into that, man. That's just something you have to enjoy to make it work. But in the meantime, what other options are on the table for you? And all I'm trying to do, y'all, is put some options on the table. That's all I'm doing. For this sign right here is an option. I'm just putting this option on the table. Okay? Oh no, man, I've listen. Good Lord, let me live. Next month I'll be 71. And in my lifetime, I've picked cotton. In my lifetime, I have picked cotton. And that's what broke me. Now I went up, we used to, this truck would come around at like 3 o'clock in the morning. and had a canvas top over the back of it, and everybody jump in the back. And we ride hours, 2-3 hours, down in the country to this field. And you get on a row and you don't even see the end. And when you pick cotton, it's got like it's pricky. So it's gonna mess your fingers up. Because you're pulling and you're pricking yourself, right? I told my grandmama, I said, Makora, I ain't cut out for this. I'm not going back. My grandmama said, what you say? I said, I ain't cut out for this, Makora. I ain't going back. And she had a mouthful of snuff, and she spit some snuff, and she said, motherfucker, you gonna do something. You better get out of here and go find you a job. If you ain't going to the field, you better get out of here and go get a job. And I went and got an orderly job. That's when I started being an orderly. I wasn't going back to the field, man. I wasn't cut out for that. And see, in the South, the good jobs were either in the steel mill or the coal mine. Okay? All right? The good jobs were either the steel mill and all that heat or down in the coal mine. And I wasn't going underground. I'm not. Yeah. I ain't going underground. And I sure ain't going in there with all that heat. So man, let me get out here and do what I do. And you know, let me tell y'all the person that put me on the path of wanting to be my own boss. I used to take my cousins to school and work every morning. I had a little green Volkswagen, and I would drive by this radio station, WENN, WIN radio station in Birmingham, Alabama. And this disc jockey named Tall Paul Dudley White, would always be on the radio. And he'd be looking out the window. And every time I would go by the radio station, I'd stick my hand out the window and wave. And he'd say, hey, in the green Volkswagen, I see you. How you doing this morning? So one day, I threw my hand out the window, and he spoke, and he said, hey, whoever you are, come by here, I need to see you. And I said, wow, okay. I dropped my cousins off, went back to see him. And he said, listen, so I see you every morning. He said, do you mind making a run for me to do this? And I said, no, man, I'll do it for you. And we got to be really good friends. Matter of fact, let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all. Let's see. See, that's Michael Jackson. That's me. I'm getting a program signed by he took this picture, as a matter of fact. And one day, I went to see him, and he was talking. He said, come here, I want to introduce you to somebody. And he introduced me to A.G. Gaston. At the time, A.G. Gaston was the richest black man in America. And he didn't even have a high school education. And he was one of the richest black men in America. And when I met Mr. Gaston, I said, sir, I got one question. With the education that you have, how are you able to do what you do? And that dude looked at me. He always had a cigar. And he always had a cigar. And he smiled. He said, Sonny, let me tell you something. He said, all of this shit that they doing, I don't need to know how to do that. All I need to do is know how to pick good people to do the job I need done. What? He said, all I need to know how to do is know how to pick good people to do what I need done. I ain't got to worry myself about trying to learn all this shit. He said, I just pick good people. And man, that's done stuck with me from that day to this. That if you know how to pick good people, you ain't got to know how to do all that shit. And that's their problem. That's what they for. You just know how to pick them. And that's what, that put me on the path to being an entrepreneur. I always wanted to, when he told me that, man, I always knew I wanted to be in business for myself. Because I wanted to be able to pick some good people to do what I need done. I ain't got to worry about I don't need to know how to do it. I know how to hire the people to do. And that's what's important to me. If I can get the people to do what I need to be done, I ain't got to worry about how to do it. And see, in business, that's what you're going to have to know how to do. Pick good people. You got to know how to pick good people, man, to get what you need done. It's just that simple. Man, I've been on here 2 hours. I wasn't supposed to be on here this long, but, you know, I just feel the need to share with y'all. Okay? I'm going, what time is it? I'm finna enjoy the rest of my day, man. I'm going to get in here and meditate and pray and enjoy my day and see what blessing God has in store for me. Because he got some in store. I just don't know where they are. I just have to keep believing. And the devil trying to make me panic now. Don't think he ain't sitting on my shoulder. He trying to make me panic. But I refuse to. I refuse to panic. I refuse to panic. And he trying to make me panic. But I'm going to come out here, still do my thing. Still do what's right. Still be uplifting. And let the chips fall where they may. All right? Man, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Okay? But it ain't easy. I got to tell you that. What I'm telling you ain't easy, man. It ain't easy at all. It requires a lot. Okay? All right, man. Blessings to y'all. I'll see y'all later.